It's a new month, which means there are new fish and bugs and sea creatures to catch. I've ended up catching all the bugs that I need for this month, but there's still one fish that I need, and that's the blowfish. So, I'm gonna be spending this time just trying to catch that fish and finish off the fishing I need to do for the island. Kind of bittersweet moment for me, since fishing's one of my favorite things to do in the game, and there'll be normal new things to discover and catch, but still, it'll be pretty fun to finally get that checked off. If you're like me and you've been playing this game religiously every day since March 20th when it came out, then this, I think, is the earliest month that you can finally finish off that section. Still have to wait till December to end up finishing bugs, because you gotta wait for the dung beetle to show up with the snowballs, but you know, blowfish, it says that they can be found from 9 p.m. to 4 a.m. I didn't look up what size they are, but I imagine they're the same size as the pufferfish. You know, being very similar. I'm pretty sure that the blowfish is what they make fugu, or how we say fugu, sushi out of. Personally, I'm not the biggest fan of sushi. It's not because I'm vegetarian or anything. It's just, that was probably a too much. Oh, you can see I'm making a diorama of all the fish you can catch on the dock, but yeah, no, I just not the biggest fan of it. You know, I've had it before, I've tried it. It's just not my thing. I don't mind like other fish like cod or salmon or other stuff. Just, I guess maybe it's partly because it's raw that I'm off-put by it, but yeah. Maybe also specifically with, you know, that puffer or blowfish sushi, you know. It's like you have to be a very specially trained chef in order to be allowed to prepare it, and if you prepare it and somebody dies from eating it because it's so toxic, I think you have to commit honorable suicide. I don't know. I've heard that. I don't know how true it is. But still, not something that I'd want to risk. But I know it's also like super expensive, and in my average life, I'll probably never have an experience where I'm actually offered it. So, I think the poison they have is, starts with a T. It's like tetra. It's the same one that California newts have. Blowfish poison. Okay, it's called fugu. I was right on that. Tetrodotoxin. Okay, that shouldn't have been such a hard word to pronounce, but I can barely pronounce my own name half the time. There's actually, as I mentioned, another species that uses that. I mean, there are many species, but the one is the type of newt, the California newt, I believe it is, and they're sort of in an evolutionary arms race with the local snake predators, because as time goes on, the snakes end up developing a resistance to the poison, and then as a result, only the most poisonous newts end up surviving, which then increases their potency, which then only the snakes that can handle the poison the best survive, and so on and so forth. I mean, there's a crazy video of a newt getting eaten by a bullfrog, and then the bullfrog dying from the tetrodotoxin. And then the newt just calmly crawls out of his mouth, so... It's crazy how nature works. I have a feeling it seems to be kind of a rarer fish. This video is going to end up being longer than the spiny lobster video, but whatever. I don't mind. When I say stuff like that, I feel like Bob Ross, like, it's happy little trees, happy little fish. Yep. Can't believe I've gone this long looking for a blowfish, and I didn't even mention the blowfish theme where he eats the carrot and makes the gross noise. It's funny how, like, you know, people find that video so funny. I mean, myself too. Like, I find it funny, but think about it, if that was like any other animal besides a fish, get it like about to be prepared for food and just kind of being taunted like that and laughed at by putting a carrot in its mouth, you know, and having it make a weird noise, like, that'd be so frowned upon. Like if it was a chicken or something and they're like, ah, look at this funny chicken before we cook it. Yeah, fish. I have this thought a lot, but like fish pretty much feel pain the same way that we do, from what I understand. And like, you know, they're very similar to us, like pretty much the same body system and everything. But there's no issue showing a fish get killed in a cartoon, but like you wouldn't see a mouse get shown the same treatment, right? Like in I don't know if this is like a mostly Canadian show, but Pingu, where he like just takes a fish, puts it down its throat, and pulls out the bones. Like you're never gonna see a cat in a children's cartoon just put a mouse down its throat and pull out the bones. So they say stuff like that, and people are like, "Oh, are you like vegan?" And it's like, no, I still eat meat. Kind of hypocritical, I know, but I mean, with being a zoology major and everything, everyone's like, "Oh, like you must be vegan, right?" It's like, no, I really like meat a lot. Actually, I probably eat too much of it, but I've really been the last few years really trying to cut down on it, partially for health, partially because it's expensive, and you know, I mean, every food takes a toll to produce. You know, like you need water to produce either the crops or the crops you feed the animals, and but, yeah. Hopefully we have an agricultural revolution. Things get better. We need a lot of revolutions. I'm not inciting any like crazy. But hopefully, stuff like climate change and everything. You know, hopefully there's a solution before the Earth is not as we know it. But yeah, more about fish. So the blowfish, it's in the same group of fish as, timely enough, it's in the same group of fish as pufferfish, which probably isn't surprising, but also ocean sunfish. They're members of the same family. It's like how goldfish and carp are related. Can't remember what the group name for them is. That was too soon. I think the group is named after the tetrodotoxin, but future me editing this video put it up if you bother to look it up. But they're actually kind of cool because they're the most derived form of bony fish. I'd say like they're kind of like the most recent to diverge in the fossil record. I don't know what their closest relatives are, so I'll pop that up. But I know they're that order. I don't have this in the shot. It's a present. Lost forever. I don't know what their closest sister order is, but They're kind of cool. Like with fish, the way a lot of the groups split off, there was, I had a lecture on this, I think there was 2 whole genome duplication events in bony fish. So what that means is basically like the ancestor group had like 23 chromosomes pairs, and then, you know, when reproduction happens, the chromosomes get doubled, but they didn't end up getting split, so then the new species ended up having double that. And that was like the transition between more primitive fish like catfish and carp to more modern-ish fish like trout. And then when this group of pufferfish and ocean sunfish came around, they went through a second genome duplication. So they have like, I want to say it's like 60? I keep messing up. I want to say they have like 60 genes? Or chromosomes? Okay, way more than 60 genes. Dude. Pufferfish at Google. "42 biarm chromosomes." So yeah, the fugu pufferfish has 44. That's a lot. So, genetics isn't my best branch of biology. Had to do some genetics work for my master's, and wasn't my strong suit for sure. Like, I understand it, you know, more than the average bear because I've had classes on it, but it doesn't come to me as easy as some other concepts like ecology or evolution. Okay, so nothing probably changed for you, but now I can actually hear. And I go off of, for the fishing, I go off of the sound cues more than anything. So, hopefully that helps out, because one of those was bound to have been a pufferfish. So, although the sound is on a bit of a delay, I use like a, I used literally a $20 capture card from Amazon, so. Another zebra turkeyfish. I more commonly know them as lionfish, and I know they're like a super invasive fish. I mean, because just like the blowfish, they're venomous. Or they're actually venomous because they can impale and apply the venom, whereas the pufferfish get eaten to deliver the poison. But these guys got transported into the Atlantic Ocean because people had them as pets and then released them, and with no predators to control them, and them eating everything that fits in their mouth and reproducing fairly quickly for a fish, they've just exploded. So now I think you're able to just spearfish them without any rules or regulations in the like the Caribbean Sea and everything. That's fun. Brings my point, though, I was going to say earlier. The difference between venomous and poisonous. Every animal biology student is always super particular with this. It's like, if it bites you and you die, it's venomous. If you bite it and you die, it's poisonous. Usually I'm pretty good at keeping that straight and not getting mixed up. But, yeah. I'm also not the kind of well, I used to be more so, but I'm really trying to lay off it now. The kind of person that, like, actually. Yeah, try not to be that person. Because should have known when I was younger, but no one ends up liking that person. You just always corrects. It's like, yeah, I know a lot of dumb animal trivia, so I'm not gonna be that asshole who corrects you. It's like, oh yeah, did you know a group of lions is called a pack? You know, I'm not gonna be that asshole anymore. It's like, actually, it's called a pride. Like, if people ask for the information, I'll tell them, but really gotta lay off being the person to just be like, tell people more than they wanted to know. And I feel bad for my family whenever growing up we went to the zoo when I was a kid, especially because I just like, did you know that this animal does this and this and this and this? And just like overbear them with information. There's even a point where I was doing it to strangers, and on one trip to the zoo beforehand, my mom was like, my mom and dad both were like, you know, Liam, it's okay if people don't know things about animals that you know. Like, you don't have to tell everyone everything about animals, and you don't have to correct people, especially strangers, if they say something wrong. My dad pretty much put it as like, one of these days you're gonna get your nose punched in. I was like, no, that's not true. People aren't like that. And I was like 12 at the time. I was still like that for a while. But we go to the zoo that day, and we're looking at the red river hogs. If you don't know what a red river hog is, boom, image up there. So we're at the red river hog exhibit, and there's literally like a 10-foot tall sign that says Red River Hogs. And like some guy comes up, stands right beside the sign. Oh, I didn't know these were back in season. But yeah, the guy comes up to the exhibit, right beside the sign, not looking at it obviously. It goes, like, yells to his wife and kids like, "Honey, look, it's a bunch of anteaters." And like, just a reminder, boom, there's a Red River hog. It's fairly clearly a pig. So I turn to my parents and just kind of give like the, "Are you serious?" Like, but you know, they flash me that parent look of like, "Oh, don't say anything. It's not worth it." Yeah. That person to this day probably thinks those Red River hogs were anteaters. But I'll leave that to the zookeepers and the tour staff to tell people stuff about animals. Because, well, I'm not getting paid for it, so that's another thing people are always like, "Oh, why don't you work at a zoo?" And it's like, well, you know, if I get completely burnt out of academia. One person that I knew in my second year when they were in first year, we had a class together and they had a bit of a breakdown. Or in midterm season. It's like, it's all useless. It's all useless. Like, all this stuff. Like, doesn't matter if we get this degree. We're not going to get jobs we want. Like, I'm going to just end up being some high school teacher, and you're just going to end up sweeping rhino poop at some zoo. And, like, I know she was, like, thinking that as a negative, but I was like, that'd be cool. Get to hang out with rhinos all day. I mean, I already pick up my dog's poop, so... But, I mean, rhinos are one of my favorite animals, and for one year, actually that same year, in second year, me and some of my friends got to go on a behind-the-scenes tour of the zoo that was offered through the animal club at my school, and they split us up into two groups, and they were like, you got to go see one exhibit behind the scenes, and like the one group was going to see the rhinos, and our group was assigned to go see the camels. There's only enough time for us to do one, and there's a moment where, as the groups were splitting off, I considered joining the rhino group and ditching all my friends to go get first-hand interaction with my second favorite animal. But I was like, you know what? You know, this day is only going to be fun if I'm with friends. You know, I don't want to bail on them. So we go and we see the camels, and it was really cool. They were really friendly, and we got to pet them and everything. And the zookeeper asked us, like, as our time was winding down, he's like, "Oh, do you guys get to go see the rhinos next?" And I was like, no, we only get to see one today, you know. they divided us into groups, and he's like, oh, that's too bad, because, like, the rhinos are just like giant dogs. They come right up to you, and they let you scratch them behind the ear, and I was just like, I didn't need to know that. So, very sad that I didn't get to have that experience, but now a lot of zoos offer, like, behind-the-scenes tours for, like, 20 bucks. You get to feed the rhino a grape or something. So, when all this pandemic stuff is over, and it's safe to go to the zoo, I'm gonna definitely do one of those. I think. Oh yeah, I did hear a shooting star. Nope, don't cast. Ah, I missed it. So once all this COVID stuff is over, definitely gonna go to the zoo. It's been like a year since I've gone. So, go do some of those behind-the-scenes tours. Finally get to pet a rhino. But that's probably not gonna be even next summer. I mean, I already went over it in my first Planet Zoo video, but this summer was the 3rd summer in a row where I was supposed to take a trip to the San Diego Zoo to celebrate finishing my undergrad, and then the pandemic happened. Like, 2 years before, I had to cancel for other reasons. Like, I graduated in 2018, I had to cancel because of other commitments. 2019, it just didn't work out, but ended up going to the Cincinnati Zoo and Columbus Zoo, so that was still pretty cool. But then, finally everything was set in motion. I was getting ready to buy the tickets and everything in February, and then my parents were like, maybe we should kind of hold off and just see how this COVID thing plays out. So, spoiler, COVID thing's not playing out well, and it's probably going to be 2022 when I finally get to go. Well, if it's 2022 by the time I go, I've been out of my undergrad longer than I was in my undergrad, waiting for this trip. I think it works out to be like, it'll be literally a 5th of my lifetime waiting for this trip if it's 2022. I'm gonna change topics. I'm sad enough about not being able to go again, so distract myself with Animal Crossing to numb the pain. Except my brother of me and then me, and he was like, I don't find that funny, I just find that sad. I'm like, it's how I cope. This fish ending up being a lot more rare than this spiny lobster ended up being. I mean, it is the last fish that I have to collect, so. Another fun fact about the blowfish, you know, I mentioned they're poison before. And, dolphins are large enough that if they get a small dose of it, it doesn't actually hurt them. That's what they do. I'm sure everyone's seen the video, but they harass and pester a blowfish and pass it around. Just get enough of the tetrodotoxin. They get just enough of it to get high off of it. Yeah, dolphins are junkies. But I mean, dolphins are also, like, violent and aggressive and not as playful as everyone thinks. That's fun. I know I haven't really done many videos, but think I mentioned it before, my thesis is finally starting to wrap up, so I have to finally submit it and defend within 2 months. I mean, I hope at least in 2 months, because I've already given my 2 months notice to this apartment, so that would complicate things. But I've collected all the data for the last 2 experiments, and I only have 1 more experiment to actually run. It's like 3 experiments to analyze, but 2 of them are already collected, and I'm already halfway, or a quarter way through the one. So, and the analysis for all of them don't really take much. I mean, the one is like going through a graph and figuring out how many breaths per minute an adult fish took. So I have to do that for all 16 fish that I measured. A lot better than when I did that with larval fish and had to watch a video on 20% speed and manually count the breaths. And then the other one is the other 2, the one I've already collected and actually took the pictures for it today, but I dissected some fish and got their gills and made little microscope slides of them, and so I can see their structure, so I need to analyze that. And then also, using immunohistochemistry, I need to, which is the experiment I still need to do. I'm gonna label specialized cells and their gills and count them. So that's always finicky, so which is why it's literally the last part of my project. Deliberately left it to the end because I'm a procrastinator. It's like, I'll do everything else first and come back, which hopefully doesn't bite me in the butt in the end, but nope. Didn't want to do that. I heard a star, but now I got some coconuts. I go super quiet mode when I'm trying to catch a fish because go off the sound cues, as I said before. I literally sit there in a meditative trance with my eyes closed. I don't know how long I've been recording, but I may end up needing to make this a two-part video. It's too bad because I was also gonna tag onto this video catching the sea pig. I should check to make sure I know what size they are. They are medium small. So yeah, they're the same size as the zebra turkey fish. While I'm on the screen, fun fact, that football fish is actually 2 of them. So the one fish you mostly see is the female, and the little kind of tag hanging off the back is the male. So being a deep sea creature, you know, you're never gonna know when you'll run into a partner. So what the football fish does is the males are very small and the females are that size, and when the males find a female, they actually bite onto her and dissolve into her body and become basically just another organ for her, providing her with genetic material to spawn. So this one looks like it has like 2. I'll like highlight them here. But yeah, so I mean, like, food is so scarce, and you have next to no lights. So it's like, when you find a partner, you have to make sure it's successful. So, that's one freaky way evolution works. Now, I usually, every month, end up catching everything I need for that month on the first day, but might not be the case tonight, because I don't want to end up staying up all night. As I mentioned before, thesis kinda needs to be finished. Yeah, so as I'm recording this, it's obviously November 1st, which means 2 days away from the US election. But I'm Canadian, so. Missed it. Missed it, missed it, missed it. You think after 400 hours I'd be better at that, but I mean, I guess it's not like I spend the full 400 hours fishing. I was gonna say another fun fact about the flatfish there, but I'll say it briefly. So when they spawn and are born, they look like normal fish, where they got the eyes on the left and right sides of their head. But then as they mature, the eyes kind of transition to being on one side in a horrible metamorphosis. I realize I should be checking these small fish too, because they could be barrelized, and I need one more of them to make a barrel eye figure. So, you know, I like decorating my island with them. I really should have named my island something fish themed. Like every square inch of it, not every square inch, but every main area of it has some fish decoration. Nope. Just another zebra turkey fish. Before Animal Crossing, I have never heard anyone refer to them as zebra turkey fish. I'm probably gonna need a new fishing rod soon. Sorry, I was just counting how many times I've used it. It's like almost 30, and they break after 30 uses, but might grab a customization kit and customize it, because that restores its uses. So I'm gonna do that really quick. Alright, back to fishing. For these videos, definitely enjoy doing them with friends more than doing them solo, because I am not an entertainer, you know. I mean, the whole reason I'm doing this channel and these videos, 1, I have an excuse to play games with friends. 2, learn video editing, so I can do crazy stuff like this. Gonna give it another 20 minutes, and if I don't find it tonight, that's gonna have to wait for another day. Oh, it's also daylight savings time. Is time synced up? Yeah, it is. But I've had a really bad sleep schedule, so I was up till 2 AM last night. But then when the clocks changed, I was like, oh man, I was up about too late. Let's see what time it is. And you know, my oven clock said 2 and my phone said 1. I was thoroughly confused, as I am every time the time changes. But I think this year especially, just because how fast and slow at the same time has seemed to go. Ah, too slow. That was probably a barrel eye too. Unfortunate. I don't know why, but it seems like this arch gives off light. Maybe just my eyes playing tricks on me. Probably a pretty boring video. I mean, I'd just be playing this game on my own, but instead I get to play this game and talk to myself like I'm crazy. Probably just the sea bass, but not a sea bass, but may as well be, because it's not a puffer or a blowfish or whatever the game calls it. Everyone out here saying they hate sea basses. I've been hating sea bass since 2002. But I don't hate the sea bass. Just checking. I think it's the case. Yeah, so I mentioned before. So it looks like the dab gets the eyes migrate to the right side of the face. And then, yeah, the olive flounder, they move to the left. But you can see otherwise they're just built like any other fish, like sea butterfly fish. Like they're also dorsolaterally compressed, but they have their eyes on each side. These fish take the flattening just a little bit further and move their eyes. Yeah, I was gonna check if the ore fish shows up this month or if I can just ignore fish of that size. Nope, next month. Unfortunate. It's only been 6 minutes since I said I'm only doing it for 20 more minutes. Time has no meaning. I hate how it's like, oh, this will take no time at all, and then something ends up taking you a super long time. And it feels like it just drags on, but then you're like, wow, that took no time at all, and then it ends up being even longer than you thought. And the opposite. It's like, oh, where did the day go? I mean, that's 5,000 bells, but I think this is like one of the rarer fish this time of year. It's like 9,000 bells. Although I don't know how directly bells and rarity. You'd assume so, but then when in the summer, it's like every other fish I caught was a great white, so maybe I used up all my luck. I mean, I mentioned this in footage that I ended up scrapping for the spiny lobster video, but I don't have bad luck, I don't have good luck, I have... My friends have coined it as Liam luck. It's like 9 times out of 10, I'll have super inconvenient luck. Like, not outright bad luck, but just like, oh wow, that was so unlikely to happen, and now it puts you at an inconvenience. Only ever happens to Liam. But then that 10th time, it's like, wow, I'm super lucky. That worked out, but it had no right to. Pays off, but like an example of Liam luck would be if this next fish is a barrel eye. It's like, that's fine, it's a good fish. Currently also looking for one, but it's not the one I'm after for real. But nope, just horse mackerel. So no Liam luck involved. Nope. How are you doing, Icepod? You doing good? I think all the social isolation has damaged me. Yeet. Really wasn't expecting it to take this long, and I've run out of things to say. Riveting gameplay, I'm sure. Yep. I mean, I made that joke earlier about social isolation damaging me, but it probably has. I mean, I live alone, so no one really spends much in-person time with me. The most social interaction I get is when I see someone else in the lab, but you know, they're usually working on something, I'm usually working on something, so not much time to hang out. Try to hang out with friends online, but majority of them just swerve me, like, oh yeah, we'll hang out this time, and then, oh, nope, something came up. It always comes up. That's sad. But everyone's busy, so can't really fault anyone. And I'm sure other people who do have roommates and just like I've been locked in with them for 8 months. Just want to get away from them. Go on vacation. I think I'm gonna leave it there. I think I'm gonna leave it there. Perfect omen to, yeah, end the video there. Leaving it on a sour note, but whatever. Yeah, that's not a pufferfish. Still not a blowfish. Still not a blowfish. Still not a blowfish. It's still not a blowfish. That right there is a blowfish. Alright, so blown away. And that means I caught all of the fish that are available in this game. Obviously not all the fish ever, because there's tens of thousands of them. But far as Animal Crossing is concerned, I have caught all the fish. Pole fishing expert. Give him those 3,000 miles. Let's go talk to our pal Blathers and celebrate. Donate. Yeah, so I just ended up cutting it, as you saw, playing off screen. Because we're gonna have things to talk about. But still determined to get it. As you saw, last fish, so needed to get it done. It was only like another 10 minutes since I stopped recording. Now, there's something I'd like to help you out with, Blathers. Gonna finally get this done. See, like, I was talking about a bunch of random facts about it beforehand. Like, this is why I like Blathers, because Blathers and me, we're on the same wavelength. We're the same kind of people, where we just tell everyone everything and get sad if they don't want to hear it. So, yes, Blathers, I will indulge you, because I know it'll make you just as happy to tell me as I'll be to listen. And, I wonder if he's gonna say something like what I said before. Yeah, okay. Awesome. So that's 2 exhibits done now. The fossil exhibit and now the fish exhibit. Let's go take a look. The fruits of our labor, or my labor. I think it'll be in one of these two. There it is. No, there it is. Right with its brethren. Or cousin, I guess. There goes Amore. There he is. Can I get a better picture than that? Probably if we go at a different angle. Commemorate the occasion. Let's see if I can get it where the blowfish and the porcupine fish are together without the abalone in the way. This is gonna be the thumbnail after all. Okay, a couple more seconds if it doesn't. Boom, that's the thumbnail. Alright, thanks for watching.